a bit of food for the dance. So I'm just giving a bit of food for the dancers. That means I bring a bit of choreography. But I don't want them just to repeat the choreography. I want them to learn the choreography, but I want them also to work on their own with the choreography. So to deconstruct or to change. But within the frame, we stay today within the frame of 8, not that it's whatever afterwards, right? Today it's very strict mathematical, so 8. So we have 1/8 with the choreography that I gave to the group. The second, they could change this choreography, but also into 8. The third is they could work individually in a space that is like cube. Maybe not, maybe they could also move in a room. Now we are at home. It could be also a good task to say, with the third, you move individually, but you also change place. Yeah, this could also be, but now we stay at the place. So this is the third part that I gave. The fourth part now is, I'm looking around, people are doing this, I think I catch this choreography. I think this is interesting. So I was pretending now that I saw a choreography and we stuck there and we go there again. So this is my fourth part for today. My fourth part is, and I saw it from somebody, I don't know who, down, round down and up the arms. Left arm, right arm touches the elbow and twists a bit, and then the left arm comes out to bring the body down and the leg back until here, into the corner, yeah, here. Ta-da! So I'm coming here with my arms and I'm doing with my feet. So this is the left foot, left, right. I open in a deep second. I help with my arms. And then I enjoy the turn with bringing my arms like that. One more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, 7, and 8. One more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, down, stay down, open, turn, and stay. So this, I pretend that I took it from somebody. And I have now 4 different choreographies. So A, B, C, D. And with this, I can play a week, actually. I can play a long time, because now I can decide for myself how I will put the choreographies. And I can tell you, if you give the completely freedom, yeah? If you give the complete freedom that you say, whatever is A, B, C, D, B, D, A, C, there will always be moments, random, that people come together, yeah? Because one thing we do clearly together. And it's really very interesting, because it's a movement like this, and then suddenly you come together. And then you have to be very much aware. You can fix this, you can also change it new, and then you think, in this moment I do together with this person, in that moment I do together with that person, and then I have to be very clear with that. So for myself now, I'm telling myself I do, that's after it's a challenge. I do B, C, B, C, A, no, B, D, A, C, I try, yeah? I have to think already. So it's always good to give the dancers something to think, then they don't talk, you know? So I try now, so B for me was 1, 2, 3. So I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. D was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. A was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. C was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you already have to start thinking. If you put your own choreography now, you see you have so many options. You can play hours with that. Yeah, you can do A, D, C, B. You know, you can, with this 4 little choreographies, you can make a row. Yeah? You can make a row of repeating. Because if many people do this, for example, people need time, the public needs time to get a system. I can, for example, now I did BDAC, and then I can continue with a different, and then I can make already 5 minutes choreography, just me, and then imagine all the people together. So let me try one more time. Yeah, BDAC, B, D, A, C, yeah. So it's already a long story, right? I can work on that. I can put it together with other people. I can see how it relates to each other. I can see how it's talking to each other. And then, of course, now maybe, if I see, now maybe I can slowly start to try with music. You see, because I created material out of my body and not because I'm emotionally involved in the music or I'm doing interpretation of the music. Now I can think with a distance. I can think, for example, it's the beginning of starting something. It doesn't have to be clear what's coming out in the end. But I told you, maybe the interesting thing for me is maybe something I'm inspired by Mahabharata, for example. Yeah, but maybe putting Indian music now would be maybe too easy, because maybe I want to talk about something that is maybe religious, or I don't know, or spiritual. Why not putting a different spiritual music, you know, for a try? So I have one music which is a music from the United States, which is a Christian religious music. And let's try this with this music, just to have a feeling of how different things from this puzzle choreography could come together. This is just an example, could. So first thing is I was combining the different things. Second thing is now to think about what I would like to talk about, maybe something spiritual, because there was this story of Mahabharata that I find interesting. Third thing is now, maybe Indian music is too easy. Maybe I think about a different music, because this is something we should still explore in Bangladesh. Really, how to work with music, which kind of music, maybe no music, maybe somebody is playing an instrument. You have an electronic music scene, which is interesting. Let me now think again, what was my choreography, because we always have to remember I had D, D, A, C, and now I would like to try the first time with the music. So I choose now a music which is a spiritual music, but from a completely cultural background. Maybe it's inspiring me. I tried to put the choreography that I just created into music, no? Because it's easy, you can count on 8. And something in my mind is maybe spiritual. So I can try, I can taste. Yeah, I can taste, I can see. Maybe I don't like it, it's also fine. Maybe I don't like it, then I try a different music. But it's so clear in my mind, in my body now, that I can play with the different musics. Yeah, it's not just a choreography. It's not just a movement which belongs to this music. Yeah, it can belong to this music, but it doesn't have to. Yeah. So give me one more time the chance, because it's also new for me. But now my body more and more learns the choreography that I just started, because I just created it now. And I stay a bit with this order. No? My order was B, D, A, C. I can change it. The choreographer can also tell me, maybe it's interesting to start with C. Now I stay with this because my body has it. And now the focus is on trying music. So I can do the same thing because it's now in my body with a different music. Let me tell you, let me try, because maybe for me, this is not the music that inspires me. So I can try all the musics, I can try, but I created first the material and it's very clear in my body and it's not related to the music. It's not just possible to dance because I hear this music. I can dance it to any music. Second example. You see, I did the same thing. It's a bit faster and gives a different spirit. I don't even know what they're singing about, but it's somehow Nirvana Shatakam. It's called this song, Nirvana Shatakam. So probably also something spiritual, right? So I can use this, and then I can decide, this feels closer to what I've created. This feels closer to the movement, but this feels also maybe, this is the first step where I can taste the theme that I want to work on. The theme, we put it to the side, but it's somewhere there. We started with the movement, and now with the music, maybe the idea of the theme comes through. Yeah. But let me try a third version, because it's also important that you learn to move to any kind of sound. Yeah. Maybe somebody's just telling a text beside you, is doing a recitation. I saw this beautiful dance of Tatui with the words of your father, for example. This was just words, you know, not just words, but this was not a music, but it's also possible to dance to words and or natural sound. It doesn't always have to be because I'm doing this 5, 6, 7, 8. The music doesn't always have to be like that. So I put a third version as a try, and this music is more like what we call a sound carpet. You know, it's like it's the music is even the name of the music is even eternity. Yeah, eternity, because it stays in the room. It stays just in the room. So maybe this is much more closer to something spiritual that I would like to talk about than to put the religious music. You know, maybe it's more interesting to have a feeling of eternity through the sound. And maybe you can work with somebody in Bangladesh who is working in the electronic music scene and is creating a beautiful sound image, which doesn't have to be like 5, 6, 7, 8, or 6 or 5 or whatever kind of music. So let's try once with the music that is just staying in the room. It's just like a universe feeling, you know, that eternity. But I keep my rhythm. This is always important. You have to keep your rhythm. You have to understand what you are doing. It's not that I'm just blown away suddenly because the music is like this, I'm dancing like this. No, I'm dancing like I danced before. And now my other partner in the room is the music. And I have to go against this feeling that I'm also dancing eternal. No, I'm dancing in 8 counts. So yeah, let me try this. So no beat. One more time. It's just this. Okay, so you understand? Maybe now I feel this. Maybe it gives me, for me, I can just tell you personally, this gives me a big impulse. The other music was so, it was talking too much, you know? One is the Christian song, the other one is the Indian song. For me, it was too narrative, too theatrical for my feeling. Suddenly with this music, I felt that my body opens And something that I wanted to say, maybe when I started, I want to say something about spirituality, about that my body is floating, came with this music. Yeah. So for you, it's always a big chance to create first your material and to bring the music a bit later. Not the easiest music. Yeah. And the theme is somewhere in your brain. You have an idea of a theme, it can change. It's completely normal because we have an idea. It doesn't have to be in the end. Yeah, it doesn't have to be in the end the same idea like in the beginning. Give yourself the freedom. So I was kidding a bit with the Mahabharata. So maybe in my head was something Mahabharata. Something I find it very interesting, Mahabharata. But I put it to the side because now I want to talk with my body. I want to start with my body. Okay, I start with my body. I create. I try different music. Now I have this music. Suddenly it's interesting for me. This music with my movement is suddenly interesting for me. Now I think back. I had the feeling Mahabharata is interesting. Maybe I'm just taking one person. Maybe I think I'm doing a piece about Arjuna. Maybe I'm Arjuna. Maybe I'm taking Krishna or whoever. Yeah, maybe it's this what brings me. I have a feeling for somebody, or like remember if we talk about Mahabharata. In the part of the Mahabharata, which is called Bhagavad Gita, there's a conversation between Krishna and Arjuna is afraid, he's afraid to fight. He doesn't want to fight. So maybe it's this story. Maybe it brings me, maybe this is the theme I would like to go now. I put all the Mahabharata away. I just take Arjuna. I take somebody who's afraid, who's in doubt, and I make a piece about this. Maybe it's this. Maybe this would be the start of making a piece about somebody in doubt. Yeah, it could be an example for somebody in doubt. Yeah. And going back to how we did now the choreography. If we have the different combinations, imagine you have several people in the room. They have all now A, B, C, D. You can play around so many hours with different combinations. You can tell them, do 2 8s, then you change place. You can even try to do the movement walking or something. You have to start with something small, and then you bring the big bouquet of flowers after. If you have too many things in your head, too many steps, it blocks you, believe me. Start with something small and believe that something is going to happen. One step after the other. You can start with 3 steps, but if you stay there, if you observe, if you take it serious, if you also let yourself surprise of what's happening, then you can go every day with joy into the classroom and you will create. If you have the whole story and the idea of a big theater, no, start very simple. Start with your body. Let your body talk and let yourself be surprised of what is happening. We have so many ideas in our bodies, and then we see the ideas and we are inspired. We see the ideas of the others. We are inspired. We combine the two inspirations, and then we go step by step. Yeah. So believe in yourself and trust in this moment of creation. The creation of a choreography is in the room. No, it's not at home. It's not in your brain. It's in the room. You have to do it. You have to practice. Yeah. So this is actually the hour. It's gone because I have another conference soon. But if anybody has some questions, I have another 5 minutes for you guys. Actually, thank you for joining first.
Thank you, Tom. আমাদের কারো যদি কিছু জিজ্ঞেস করার থাকে, কিছু জানার থাকে, we can ask. And Tom, we have Sharmila auntie here. As I told you that she will join, and I think she was there from the beginning. So Auntie, thank you for joining us. You can also say something, Auntie.
I just had one question, Tom. Hi.
Hi.
Hi. I was just wondering, when you come into the room and start with just, making random material out of your body, and you said to keep the theme aside first, but would not the material that you're making be a bit influenced by the theme that you have at the back of your mind, or maybe have kept aside?
That's a very good question, Tatui. This is completely true. But we don't have to fulfill the theme from the beginning, but it's in your mind, so you create already a world. And we can go a step further. If you are 3 days in a room with several people, you see that you influence each other, that there is something that you don't do suddenly something which comes out of the blue. You fulfill the theme somehow, but there is a big freedom still. But what is in your head comes also in your body, for sure. But without stress.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering as well, because I kind of experienced a bit of that when I was working with Andor the last 2 months, because this time we decided that we didn't want to have any fixed theme for what we wanted to do together, but just make material out of what we know and what we know of each other, and kind of influence each other. So that is also a very nice way to get material out and then put into context later.
Okay, any more question from anyone? Like if you want to ask something. ছোটরা কেউ কিছু জিজ্ঞেস করতে চাও? কেউ কিছু বলতে চাও? Anything, like any experience also you can share. It's not only about like asking or questioning. Tom, if you have time, I have a very short question actually. You can
Sure.
say it now or maybe later, like because we are working on today now about choreography, and you have worked in Bangladesh like so many times. So what's the basic difference you notice when you see I'm not asking only about the classical and folk, I'm asking about the way we work here normally, right? So
yeah,
what is the difference you see?
The biggest difference for me is, and this is not a criticism, is that in somehow, let's say, Central Europe, where I come from, we try to ask questions on stage. And I have the feeling in Bangladesh, you go for the answers. You want to have a result, an answer. If it's theater or dance, it's almost like a moral, like the end of the story is like this. And we try somehow in Europe to open the question to the public, like something stays open. It's not that there is not a right or wrong, and there is a bit the looking for the right in Bangladesh. This is not a criticism, but it's somehow maybe sometimes it also comes from the kind of theater that you do in some programs, which is like to educate people, and which is fine. But I think in a contemporary way, you can just let it go a bit and just ask questions. Surprise yourself, surprise the public. And if the public wants an answer, then ask the public, what do you see? What is your answer? No, it's not, you don't have to go always into the room, and like you don't have to fulfill a story to the end to say, okay, and then in the end they were happily together forever or something, It's not necessary.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you for giving us a time. Okay, she wants to say something.
I'm sorry, Danu.
No, please,
maybe can you give an example of how you leave out questions from a piece, maybe? Just for understanding the difference in our minds. Like what is it about leaving out questions for the audience?
I think it's like leaving a question for the audience. It's more like bringing a different focus of something that we already know. So if you go too much into a narrative way of working in dance, then you make everything so clear. Then you have almost a character and a name. And I think it's not necessary. You can just be two bodies in space and let the the public create their own story, you know. It starts with the costume already, you know. A woman has to look like this, a man has to look like that, because it's what we see in the street. No, change it, because this we already know, we have it in the street, you know. Put the dress to the man, put the, you know, this is like a joke now, but open yourself, you know, this is our dream, a field of dream. You know, everybody is dreaming, we dream crazy things, everything is possible suddenly in the dreams. Do it on stage, you know. We don't need we can have it, but we don't need like a rickshaw and a shari and on stage. We know it already. Like, change it, you know, do something different. You don't have just to repeat what you see. Create your own world.
That's a very, very good explanation. Something that I didn't think about previously.
I have a question.
Yes, please.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, I want to know about the basic difference between composition and choreography. All dancers are confused about the composition and choreography. There might be difference. So, what do you think? I want to know.
Yeah, good question. So composition is actually it's part of doing the choreography for me, actually, because you have to compose material, but then it gets bigger and bigger, and then you have, after a while, you have to zoom out and you have to see the whole thing. First, you stay here and you see, and then it gets more and more. My way of working is, for example, like this, because I'm doing now a creation. I do chapters. I try to do this chapter, then I start with that, and then I have different chapters, and I have these kind of papers, maybe 10 papers on the floor, and I try to combine the chapters and making a flow out of it. So I think this is just part of the choreography, but then the choreography is in the end the whole thing. And sometimes the choreography is maybe just an improvisation, and you don't need a composition, you just need an idea of, okay, you come into the room and the idea is there is an unbalanced floor, and you know, you can have so many ways of doing. This was just one way of really doing concrete choreography through composition, but maybe choreography looks completely different with everything is open. There's maybe just a score, okay, when this sign is, everybody runs out and just one person stays. When this sign comes, 2 people enter and doing an improvisation. You know, there are lots of fields of choreography actually.
It depends on theme or story like that.
Sorry, one more time, Joya.
So it's like depends on the theme or story. Like story or theme will be go with choreography and composition when we are making something.
Yes.
The movement of the every position. Okay, thank you.
Composition is part of the process, actually, right?
Yes,
composition is the process of putting different dance materials together, and then it gets bigger and bigger, and then you try to see it from outside. You try to see if there is any, like for you, any logic. It doesn't have to be the logic from the street, but for you, it's a feeling. No, it's a feeling of rhythm, of logic, of like bodies in space moving. Yeah.
So, do you have any more questions? I think, Tom, you have something, right, from now? So maybe you are in a hurry.
I need a couple of minutes because at 2:30 German time, I have another conference.
Okay.
So if there is not a big pressure, I want to somehow tell you, whenever you like to create something and you want to have a feedback, you can send anything to Tanon, and Tanon sends it to me. I'm answering every video, you know, when you're in the mood to create something, even if it's 2 minutes, I will give you feedback to anything you are doing. Yeah, I'm always open to give you feedback for what you're creating, because I now you're sitting at home and maybe it's nice to create a little solo for yourself in your room, and you would like to have some advices or a little feedback. I'm open for that. You just forward it to Tanon. Tanon, I didn't ask you, but I hope it's fine. And I will give you feedback after. Yeah. or Tanun is giving you feedback. But start creating. Use the time. I know it's difficult with shutdown, but use the time.
Yes, that's a good idea actually. So I think we should finish this now, because he has something to do, and hopefully we can do something like this again and very soon. And I will plan with again Tom. Maybe we already talked about something like a long time like course or something like that. So maybe we can work out that, and I will inform every one of you, whoever's joined today the workshop. So Tom, thank you so much for giving us time. I think we learned something, and this will help us for to create something new, especially in this time, because we're having shutdown, which is not lockdown only, it's shutdown. So I hope we can do something in this pandemic and in this lockdown situation. So thank you so much, Tom. If you want to say something, or like you can finish, Tom. I'm done.
Yes, thank you so much. I'm really honored being invited, because Bangladesh is a very big part of my life for many years now, 7 years already. And I'm missing it so much. I'm missing the work there because of the pandemic situation. But I have been there so often, like 13 times. So I feel part of the country. And yes, I would love to come back. And I really, would like to invite you. Keep on moving, keep on dancing. I know it's difficult, but I think it helps us. Yeah, keep your spirit.
This is Tanu.
Shamila auntie is here. Auntie, please, apni kichu bolun.
Tom. Tom, this is Sharmila.
Yes.
Nice to see you again. Yeah, nice to see you again. And I liked one thing, you mentioned one thing in the beginning, that is research your body. It's really something. I liked it very much, this word. And actually, I was at Uday Shankar India Culture Center. You know about Uday Shankar, his improvisation thing. So at there also, we learned like this thing. Research your body, create something, try to create something new. So I like this very much. Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Tom.
Yeah, thank you for joining, Shamila. It's very true, and I know it's difficult because I'm also coming from the classical ballet, and it's difficult to break it. It's very important that you have it in the body, but it's a challenge to break it and to suddenly think, oh, this is also, I can do this. It's fine. There's no wrong. In movement, it's nothing is wrong. You just have to know why you do something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Shamila auntie, and thank you all of you for joining this. This is gonna be end within a minute, so it's good to take a goodbye from everyone, and hopefully we can do something like this again and again. Okay, and I'll share the recording video with all of you, because I'm recording this.
Thank you so much, Tom.
Thank you.
Bye-bye, Tatri. Bye-bye, Tom.
Bye.
Bye-bye,
Greetings, Joy. Greetings to your brother.
সবাইকে ধন্যবাদ আন্টি, ধন্যবাদ থাকার জন্য।
হ্যাঁ, থ্যাংক ইউ তানু, তুমি আমাকে ইনভাইট করার জন্য। কারণ আমি থ্যাংক ইউ, কারণ এই জিনিসটা উদয় শঙ্কর ইম্প্রোভাইজেশন ব্যাপারটাতে বলে যে ট্রাই টু ক্রিয়েট সামথিং। আছে তো অনেক কিছুই, সেটা কাউন্টিং এর মধ্যে ইউ ট্রাই টু ক্রিয়েট সামথিং নিউ। আর রিসার্চ, বডি রিসার্চ করার যে ব্যাপারটা